Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a really powerful new formula for creating faceless content. We're talking about a method that takes super dense, complex data and somehow transforms it into this cinematic, high-stakes investigation. So let's dig in and see how it works.
It all kicks off with a statement just like this one. Something provocative, something that sounds like a secret you were never supposed to hear. In this strategy, it's called a failure of logic hook. Its whole job is to grab you, to make you question everything you thought you knew, and to pull you into a much, much deeper story.
So what is this whole strategy? Well, it's a very specific kind of documentary format, and it's gaining some serious traction right now, especially as algorithms are starting to favor long-form educational storytelling. And look, this isn't about vlogs or some big personality. This is something else entirely. At its heart is something called the operational forensic documentary. Think of it as a faceless style that uncovers the hidden operational DNA behind these huge global events. It operates in what's known as a high RPM niche, which basically means it's super valuable per view, because the goal isn't just to teach you something. No, the goal is to make you feel like you're sitting in on an intelligence briefing, discovering the secret systems that actually run the world. And this really marks a fundamental shift, you know? We're moving away from that standard how-to tutorial led by a presenter. Instead, this whole format is guided by a calm, authoritative voiceover that gives you a forensic analysis. The whole idea shifts from here's how to do it to a much more compelling here's how it actually works. Now, because this whole format is designed for creators who, want to stay off camera, it really demands a completely new kind of identity. The focus has to shift away from personality and onto the information itself.
And that persona is the systems architect. You're not trying to be an influencer here. You are the guide. You're the analyst who's decoding these incredibly complex systems for your audience. Your authority doesn't come from your face or your brand. It comes from the quality of your evidence and how you present it.
So, if you're not on screen, what is? Well, the real star of the show is the ledger. And no, that's not a person. It's the evidence itself. We're talking hidden contracts, complex logistics maps, technical flowcharts, redacted documents, all of it stitched together with amazing, high-quality footage. The data is the main character. But let's be honest, raw data can be pretty boring. So to make it captivating, this formula relies on a very specific 4-act narrative structure. This is the engine that drives the investigation, and it can actually be developed super fast using AI tools that process all the source documents and help structure a really compelling script. So here's how that narrative gets built. Act 1 is the fracture. You have to open with a huge, shocking loss to immediately set the stakes. Then, Act 2, the legacy system. This is where you carefully explain the old way of doing things, the status quo that everyone trusted, right before it all fell apart. Act 3 is the absolute core of the entire explainer, the hidden ledger. This is that aha moment. It's where you reveal the single operational bottleneck, that one flawed line in a contract, the hidden protocol that caused the entire system to break. And finally, Act 4, the sovereign verdict. This is where you lay out the fallout, the consequences, and the new reality. It's a real journey of discovery. And here's a perfect example from a script called The Deletion of Borders. Just look at how it nails the fracture. It opens with this monumental, mind-bending hook. The smartphone is being decommissioned. That claim, paired with these visuals of neural crowns and synaptic firing, it instantly creates this high-stakes, futuristic conflict. And it does it all without showing a single human face. Okay, so that narrative structure, that's the skeleton. But the production rules, that's the sensory layer. That's what gives these explainers their signature feel. And it's all designed from the ground up to keep you watching.
And the single most important rule for keeping viewers absolutely locked in, especially when there's no face on screen, is one simple, non-negotiable principle.
7. Never ever keep a single visual on screen for more than 7 seconds. You need constant motion. You're cutting to new B-roll, you're zooming in on a document, you're highlighting text on screen. This constant change rewards the viewer's brain, and it also signals to the algorithm that your content is dynamic and engaging.
So here's how all those pieces come together to create the vibe. The visual style is called strategic noir. Think dark, moody aesthetics with glowing cyan and amber data overlays. The voice is often a really high-fidelity AI, delivering lines in this calm, almost clinical, intelligence briefing tone. And then it's all layered with these subtle synaptic sound effects, creating this whole high-tech forensic atmosphere. It's so effective.
So let's pull all the way back. Why is this formula just so darn effective? What is it that makes this model a clear winner in today's incredibly crowded attention economy?
Honestly, it's kind of a perfect storm. This model builds real, scalable authority without ever needing a personality on screen. It turns what could be boring research into a thriller, which is just fantastic for keeping people watching. It leverages AI to make production faster and more efficient, and maybe most importantly, it completely changes the viewer's role. You're no longer just a student, you're an investigator, solving a puzzle right alongside the narrator.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these automated, data-driven narrative systems get more and more sophisticated, what does that mean for the traditional human expert? Is the future of authority going to be a charismatic person on screen, or a perfectly executed evidence-based system, just like this one?